Hi readers! Okay, so we're picking up today in Reading Workshop and we're in session 7. And our goal today is that we're going to be working on tricky words. So in the last sessions, we worked on annotating and making predictions, and we've been doing a lot of thinking and character work. Now we're going to come to those words that are difficult, and we're going to figure out ways that we can figure out the meaning and solve the tricky words. So you're going to use context clues, definitions, analogies, synonyms and antonyms, all kinds of different ways to solve difficult words. So we're going to continue to strengthen our reading skills today by looking for clues that authors leave. A good author doesn't just throw out a difficult term and leave us to figure it out. They're painting a picture and they add synonyms, which are words that mean the same thing, or sometimes they'll add antonyms, which are opposite words, to help us figure out a tricky word. Good authors might even put the definition of the word in that paragraph for us. So they give us clues right there to understand the meaning. I'm going to help model this work today with a text that I picked for you. This is part of White Fang. But before we get started, let's think about this character chart, or this chart that we have that has clues for how to figure out and solve tricky words. Because today I'm going to teach you that readers encounter unfamiliar words, and we use these different tactics to help solve the tricky words that we come up with so that we can understand their meaning as we read. We're going to use this thing called the GIST. And so what this GIST is this chart right here. Make sure you have it out and in front of you. And this helps us solve difficult and challenging words where we're looking at synonyms and antonyms. So the GIST is what is happening in that part of the story. The S, the synonym, is a word that means the same thing. The A for antonym, those are opposite words. And the E is for explanation. So that's telling us what the word means. And sometimes the author will come out and flat out tell you what the word means. Sometimes they use commas in the same sentence to help add those synonyms, antonyms, or explain the word. So let's take a look at this in a real story, because you're going to do this work today as you read. You're going to be coming across those tricky words, and instead of just reading through them, you're going to take time today to really try to figure out what the word means using these strategies that we have today. So we're going to try this work in White Fang. This is a classic novel written by Jack London, and we're in chapter 1. Let's just look at this one sentence, or these two sentences that I came across, because there's a tricky word here that I stumbled across while I was reading. A vast silence reigned over the land. The land itself was a desolation. That's the word I'm not sure. So let me keep reading the sentence, and I'm going to look for clues. Did the author give me a synonym, an antonym, or just explain the word for me? The land itself was a desolation, lifeless, without movement, so lone and cold that the spirit of it was not even that of sadness. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out this word desolation, and I'm noticing that the author added some commas there, and it looks like they gave me some synonyms, some other words that help me understand what desolation means, because they're similar words. So right after desolation, it says lifeless and without movement, so lone and cold. So the words I'm picking up on that help me understand that desolation, what it means, are lifeless, without movement, lone, and cold. I'm definitely understanding desolation sounds like isolation, like a sad isolation, something that is doesn't have anything living there. So kind of a really lonely, isolated place that's kind of beat down. So what I did was I noticed the author had commas, and I looked at those words that were listed and tried to figure out if they were antonyms or synonyms. And right away, I figured out that they were synonyms, which are other words that mean the same thing. So now I know that desolation, that is an isolated word. That's kind of what that word means. So it really helps me understand the author's message that they're trying to convey. So as you read today, I want you to look for context clues. So what did the author put in there? Did they put synonyms in, antonyms, or just flat out explain the word in the paragraph? Read before and after the term that's difficult. And sometimes we have to stop and read it again. Even I did that. So in addition to the character work and the plot work and the annotations and the predictions, I want you to be really cognitive today and find at least 2 tricky words for me. And you're going to fill out the word a day calendar. So you have a word a day calendar in Canvas, and you're going to put 2 difficult words, and you're going to tell me how you solved the word, like what did the author include that gave the word away. So you're going to type the word in large, you're going to give the page number and the book title. You're going to define the term, but you're going to really tell me what did the author put in the story, in the text, that help you understand the work. So here's my example for the word desolation. So the word desolation helped me understand its meaning. And here's the sentence in the story that the author included tips and tricks to help me understand that tricky word as I was reading. So today, focus on those tricky words. Don't read past them. Try and figure them out and decode them using the tactics we talked about in your anchor chart as a reference. Break the word down and look for synonyms or antonyms or other context clues that the authors left you. And you're going to share 2 of those words that you did all this work for today. You're going to share 2 of them in Canvas. If you have any questions, just raise your hand and I will help, or Ms. Ross can help you online. Off you go, readers.